Hey everybody, Nick Hodge here with Digest Publishing. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the July issue of Foundational Profits, which is hot off the presses. First of all, Foundational Profits is my monthly newsletter where I divulge what I'm doing with my personal capital in my retirement accounts, my so-called safe or foundational capital. And of course, there's a lot going on that you need to do to protect your safe capital from, first of all, we've got a recession that is manifesting. While the Fed might say it's not, or the White House might say it's not, or officials or economists might try to change the definition of a recession or move the goalposts, you can certainly feel it. As a business owner, I feel it. If you look at your stock account or your brokerage account or your retirement account, you feel it. The S&P just put in its worst start to a year in over 50 years. Bonds have put in the worst start to a year in multiple decades. Consumer confidence is at not historic, but certainly multi-decade lows. And in general, things are just a mire out there. So what are we doing about it? You know all of that, right? You see that in every headline, on every newscast, and from every talking head. But what I want to tell you is how I'm positioning for it and potentially when it's going to end. So in the July issue of Foundational Profits, I go over my largest three positions for a Q3 recession. What I'm buying more of is specifically in the gold market and in the consumer staple market. We go through sectors of the S&P, including what's working and what's not. And frankly, it's a whole lot of what's not. Not nearly every sector of the S&P was down over the last month, and there's not much that's working. The only shelters have been utility stocks recently and a little bit of consumer staple stocks. I'll go over two holdings in those S&P sectors that we own and would be buying more of. And then I get a little bit into a dogmatic discussion. I talk about, some of these people you see who are always pounding the drum for the same asset and why it's not wise to follow those people, whether that's Reddit groups that were talking about meme stocks last year, or, people who are always saying that silver is going to the moon or cryptos are going to the moon. I talk about why, if you think an asset is only going one direction, that it's a recipe for failure, and why you should avoid people who are always preaching the same thing to you. And then I get on a bit of a soapbox about being pro the individual and pro sovereignty. Why it's important to insulate yourself from the government and its leaders, right? Leaders in quotes, because they're not. And so whether that's the failing system you've seen since 9/11 with encroaching government and spying, or whether it's their approach to solving problems like COVID and the supply chain, really the way they approach it is to protect themselves and to continue to put you at risk while they see the system start to implode. So I go over why it's important to keep yourself sovereign and how you can do that. So it's an action-packed July issue of Foundational Profits. I hope you'll check it out. There's a form below you can use to get access for a one-time investment of $99. That'll get you 12 monthly issues where I cover the market soup to nuts every month, including what I'm doing with my personal capital to navigate these troubled times and to insulate myself and my family from them and to prosper in spite of them, and to get into position for what I see coming, what's after the turbulence we're seeing now. So please go ahead and check out Foundational Profits.